Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Albuquerque, New Mexico for the first time in 2026 as New Mexico United playing host to their rivals from up north, Colorado Springs, Switchbacks FC. Today's match is brought to you by Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary. Welcome into Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park. My name is Tyler Ortega, and I'm joined today by the head coach of the U23 U.S. Women's National Team, Heather Dyke. Coach, first off, thank you for joining us today. What a treat we have here ahead of us.
I'm so excited to be here. I love this team and I love this program, and to be here for opening day on a beautiful day like today, it's a special place.
It is indeed the home opener for New Mexico United as they're taking on some familiar faces. Let's jump right into things with our players to watch, brought to you by Toyota. And Coach, a special one here today. Christian Nava, the Albuquerque native, returning from not one but two ACL tears.
Yeah, one ACL tear can cause somebody to really be out for a long time, but coming back from two and playing at the level that he's been playing at so far this season, I think there is no ceiling for Christian Nava.
Our player to watch for Switchbacks, well, it's a familiar face for the black and yellow faithful. It is former New Mexico United captain Talon Maples.
Yeah, you gotta love when somebody comes back to play their old team, and it adds a little bit more spice to the game, and the emotions will be running high in a lot of different directions with Talon on the field.
We mentioned the injury with Christian Nava. It's been 1,260 days since he last started a USL Championship match. He's going to look to create some magic here. We'll take a break. We'll be back on the other side of this with lineups and kickoff.
Mountain dude?
The mountain is calling.
Give me the sunshine. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that blue. Mountain Dew. Yeah, give me the sunshine. Give me that
Hey!
Hi.
Back here at the lab, kickoff just moments away between New Mexico United and Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. Let's take a look at our starting lineups here, presented by Will Ferguson and Associates. This is how Dennis Sanchez is rolling out his side today, Coach. We see Greg Hurst getting the start. We talked about Christian Nava. Will Seymour, the captain, getting the start here as well.
Yeah, some familiar faces for New Mexico United and players that have historically really contributed at a high level. And I think we're just looking for that cohesion now. Like, can these players find a rhythm and play together and really create some offense going forward for New Mexico United?
Now for the visitors, Switchbacks making the change in goal a few matches ago. We see former OC starting keeper Colin Shuttler getting the nod between the sticks here today. We mentioned Talon Maples. He'll be paired up in that back line alongside Garvin Matusala following that injury to Matt Mahoney last weekend. But we see Corey Bennett getting the start here up top for Switchbacks. He's no stranger to playing here at the lab. Coach, he actually played for Dennis Sanchez in 2024 at Las Vegas. He scored the goal that eliminated New Mexico on this pitch.
Well, he'll be a face that nobody wants to see then, you know, but it's man, soccer's such a small world, and it's always interesting when you have players that have played for former coaches, and does that give them some insight that potentially helps them to be stronger in the game? Hopefully not today.
As these two familiar foes, they have met several times. It is New Mexico holding the all-time lead in this series. 13 wins for the black and yellow, 4 wins for Switchbacks, 3 draws, and that spans USL Championship, US Open Cup, and of course USL Cup play, which they started just last season. And so Switchbacks will be looking to buck the trend here in Albuquerque. As New Mexico, Coach, they're looking to pick up their first points of the season. They started off on the road their first couple of matches. They lost in Oakland and then faced a tough San Antonio FC side last weekend. And so looking to bounce back here today in front of the home crowd.
Yeah, and I think anytime you have new players and new formations, new systems, there's always going to be this moment where you're trying to find cohesion and you're trying to really find that way to play together. And I think that's what New Mexico United has to be looking for right now. There's moments in games where you see it, and there's other moments where it's just not there. So can they find that and keep it for longer periods of time?
New Mexico United without a key piece of the midfield here today. No Zico Bailey in the matchday squad. He is off. He's off on the other side of the world, actually. He's on international duty with the Philippines national team as they have a huge match against Tajikistan for a place in the 2027 AFC Asian Cup. So big hole there for New Mexico. We see Cam Wilkerson making the start here today, making his home debut for New Mexico.
It's a big hole to fill. I mean, I think anybody that watches New Mexico United recently, you see Zico, he's kind of the engine, and he does all the hard work. So it's going to be something where you have to be willing to do that dirty work so the players around you can kind of be a little bit more involved in the attack.
Will Seymour run over by Juan Tejada there, and we've got our first free kick here of the match. Free kicks brought to you by TLC, Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Several home debuts being made today for New Mexico. Nico Hamalainen, one of them as well. You'll see him in the back line alongside Will Seymour. Hamalainen spent last year in the second division of Norway. And is the captain Will Seymour as we take a look at our keys to the match, brought to you by the Somos Unidos Foundation for New Mexico. Be patient with the ball, create chances from wide areas, and use home field energy. So you talk about creating from wide areas, Coach. You know, we see Christian Nava and Niall Reed-Stephen making the starts on the wings today for New Mexico.
And you can already tell that, I mean, everybody that in a modern defensive system, you want to take away the central channel, and you can already see those spaces opening up out wide. So whoever can dominate those is going to get more opportunity to get service in the box and potentially create stronger opportunities centrally when you expose that wide space.
Small rolls all the way back to Colin Shuttler. Well, I mentioned he was the former OC #1 last year. He was actually in goal for the Western Conference semifinal here at the Lab back in November, which New Mexico won on that thunderous strike from Dayon Harris in the dying moments.
What a night that was.
Quick look at our injury report. Just a few names on there for New Mexico. Newcomers Sofian Jafal and Joseph Melto Quiaya, and of course Gideon Zalalem. Zalalem went out at halftime of the season opener in Oakland. Haven't seen him since. Neither side really able to come into possession there, and now New Mexico getting things restarted quickly. It's Usman Jabang. Jabang making his 30th appearance in black and yellow. Here's Nava, chips this forward beautifully. Gloucester, cross goes in, and it's cleared away from a sliding Luther Archimed.
Yeah, great little overload out wide for New Mexico United, and what a ball from Nava just to recognize that the chip passes on there and play the right ball.
That's the gaffer, Dennis Sanchez. Took the club to the Western Conference final last season, which they were defeated by Tulsa. But for New Mexico, just looking to continue building on success, Coach. You look at the last 3 years, and they've progressed from the quarterfinals to the semifinals, then on to the conference final, looking to break through.
Yeah, the expectation and the hope in the city is for this team to win a championship. And I know Dennis knows that, and everybody knows that, and that's the hope. And that's why you see so many people showing up for games, and they love this team. They love to be a part of this program.
Christian Nava delivers the corner. It's headed away, and so New Mexico will take another crack at it. That is the manager on the opposite side of the touchline. It's Alan McCann. First season as head coach for Switchbacks, but not his first season with the organization. He's been there for a handful of years now. He's an assistant coach, technical director, now the head coach. See Niall Reed-Stephen, a new addition. He's a Barbados international, 21 caps, 11 goals for his national team. Very young, too, just 24 years old. Had a breakout season in USL League One last year as his corner goes in and initially headed up. New Mexico come back into possession. Wilkerson finds Noel. Left-footed cross. Hamalainen! And that ball, it looked like it might have been saved there by Shuttler.
What a strike off the half volley. That is a difficult ball to hit, and to put that on frame is no easy task. What a strike.
As we take another look here on this TLC replay, Hamalainen connected about as perfectly as you can, and yeah, what a save there from Colin Shuttler. Nava will deliver once again. It's a Topo Chico hard seltzer corner kick. Hello, crisp, refreshing taste. Hello, Topo Chico hard seltzer. So New Mexico knocking on the door here over the last couple of minutes. Headed out, but Noel giving chase to it. Noel somehow able to keep that ball in play. Wilkerson now back to Hamalainen.
It's twice now that New Mexico United's second phase of the corner kick has been outstanding. Like you miss the first phase, you don't get a shot on target, but to keep the ball in and create more opportunity is really outstanding. It's twice in a row they just won't let the Colorado Switchbacks out.
Switchbacks pinned back in their own third now for the last 3 consecutive minutes. Mexico looking to get off the mark here at the Lab in 2026. New Mexico in this matchup, historically over the last 8 matches, it's been New Mexico that have scored first in 7 of those matches. And so if your Switchbacks looking to sort of reverse that trend here today and give yourself a fighting chance here at the Lab.
And I think when you come into the Lab and you know the energy that you're going to have to face, and you know you're going to have to play a team that thrives off that energy, you really kind of have to set a tone. And right now, New Mexico United is setting a tone with their defensive effort to kind of keep Colorado pinned in the game. So Colorado's going to need to respond, find a way out of it, even if it's a little bit direct for a while, just to get out of their own half.
When you're talking about that defensive effort, you love to see that from Christian Nava, the now 22-year-old. Christian Nava mentioned it before kickoff, but he hasn't started a USL Championship match since March and I want to make sure I get this right, March of 2023. It was the season opener at Miami FC. He played the full 90. As we mentioned, underwent a couple of knee injuries, stepped away from the game for a while, but Coach, he came back this preseason as a trialist, earned his way back onto this squad, and he's in the starting 11 for the home opener.
He's a player that just had such a buzz around him coming out of, signing an early contract, really. I mean, I think maybe he was the first homegrown contract?
Correct.
Yeah, and so the community loves him, and he's a special player. So to see him back on the field and to come through those injuries and to take some time off, and you just want the best for him, and I know the community does too. So really hoping that Christian can just keep that rhythm, and you see him playing with a lot of joy, and sometimes you find that joy when the game's taken away from you. So hopefully Christian has the season that he deserves.
Switchbacks were looking to get something going there, but pass from Masareka to Bennett was intercepted. Christian Nava came through the New Mexico United Academy. Actually won the Golden Ball at the USL Academy Cup a handful of years ago. Ross goes in once again, and it's chested down. His shot over the crossbar of Chris Shakes, but Corey Bennett has his eye on goal early.
A little something more there from Colorado, combining through that central channel, trying to find an opportunity in the final phase there.
Another look on this TLC replay, a bit of a heavy first touch that just kind of threw him off there.
Yeah, and you're going to have to hit something special to score on Shakes from that far out, but at least it's a little bit of offensive-minded, trying to get something on frame. Maybe it lights a fire under him.
Tejada didn't quite agree with the call that time. Juan Tejada, he's wearing the captain's armband for Switchbacks here today. 29-year-old out of Panama. Been with Switchbacks for the previous 4 seasons. Joined the club in 2023. 12 goals over that span in league play. Nice little link up there between Gloucester and Noel. Nava just couldn't get to that through ball.
Good pressure up top by United and forced a turnover there.
Shot blocked that time by Hamalainen. Switchbacks able to tilt the field here over the past couple of minutes. Sam Williams to take the throw.
Looks like Switchbacks have a long throw coming here, setting up almost like a corner. Yep.
Punched out by Chris Shakes. Ball comes back in, headed down. It looked like it was Seymour that might have gotten a touch to that. The official waves off any sort of potential foul. Today's official, Christian Campo Hernandez. These two just exchanging pleasantries.
These programs have a history. It's not that far away, and they've been in a lot of tight games, and I love it. I love when the players show that kind of passion, and you can tell how much they want to win this thing.
It looked like Creek and Seymour might have gotten a little bit tangled up there, but going back to that replay there, they were wanting a whistle on Luther Archimed, perhaps for a high foot, but we're going to see another long throw here from Williams. And this time, deflected towards goal, but it goes just wide.
It's dangerous. When you have a player that can throw a ball like that and deliver like that, basically anytime the ball goes out of bounds in your final third, it's a corner kick. And it just increases your opportunity on frame exponentially. It's a huge weapon for Colorado, you can tell.
Speaking of a corner kick, here comes Sam Williams to deliver. Williams, the former Chicago Fireman, made 7 appearances for the first team last season. This one goes in, and no problem there for Chris Shakes. Shakes looking to start out hot here as rifles this ball away, but we've got a whistle coming all the way back. And Chris Shakes is down. We're going to see our first yellow card of the day. Yellow cards brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. When you've been fouled, call Ferguson Law Firm, New Mexico's leading personal injury attorneys for over 40 years. That yellow card was shown to Colorado Springs midfielder Brennan Creek. I believe it was Brennan Creek. Well, let's get confirmation on that. Yeah, it was Brennan Creek. So 14 minutes in, he's into the book. Creek, the 25-year-old, his second season in the Springs. 15 appearances for the club last year. It's Wilkerson. Wilkerson is fouled. Well, Masareka definitely thought he got off scot-free that time. New Mexico looking to get something going, and that ball cut out just ahead of Usman Jabeng. Garvin Matusla that time. Matusla, 13 caps for the Haitian national team. That was, ended up being a decent opportunity there for Luther Archimed.
Yeah, kind of a set play off a throw in there, and you can see just that back pin open up the space and a good delivery.
Luther Archimed joined the club in August of 2025. Came over through a transfer from Monterey Bay. And just trying to utilize that size there. Does well to hold off the defender.
Mexico United showing a man-man press here, like just fully committed to not let Colorado play out.
Shuttler just sends this ball long.
And I think you'll see more of that. Anytime that you're willing to go 3 for 3 in the back and press that way, that is the answer. Is can you find a 1v1 direct play? And then it'll come down to New Mexico United and Colorado like it's a 1v1 battle. So if you win that in those situations, you're going to find success. High risk, high reward.
Rocha plays it into Perez. Ball chested down, and then the shot is blocked. That could have been trouble for Shakes. Tejada now, ball at his feet, has it poked away. And Greg Hurst goes down. He's fouled by Tejada. And Tejada's got to be careful. That's already 2 in the opening 17 minutes.
Twice now that second ball for Colorado, like the first service New Mexico United deals with okay, and that second ball keeps dropping in that midfield area. Probably something they're going to need to continue to look at because it's 2 opportunities now where just second balls are dropping into the midfield right in front of the back line for New Mexico United. But lucky to get a block there. I think Shakes was off his line.
Jabang looking to play Niall Reed-Steven forward. Barbados international. Reed-Steven gets the cross in, and Archimed.
Great ball.
Couldn't get the header on target there.
No, but there's definitely a athletic advantage over there that you can see right now. I mean, anytime that ball's played in the space, New Mexico United's getting an opportunity with, truthfully, just outrunning players there. So smart ball. I think you'll continue to see that.
Archimed, he found the back of the net twice last season after his transfer from Monterey Bay. Really became sort of a late game go-to sub for Dennis Sanchez there down the stretch, and so sort of interesting to see him in the starting lineup here today. Here comes Switchbacks, and Chris Shakes lets that one go wide, but it was Corey Bennett once again causing some problems.
Both teams right now are kind of bypassing the midfield, playing a little bit more direct, and both teams are finding success with it right now.
Nava with a great ball. Here's Gloucester. Hurst now, he's got options. Reed Stevens all alone at the back post, and Hurst just couldn't get the delivery there. But Gloucester, well, for a moment, looked like he was going to run down and deliver another cross, but it's just going to be a throw in here for Switchbacks. The captain, Will Seymour. Naples will go back to Shuttler.
Que se abra las jugadas para.
Here comes Foster. That ball cut out by Jabang. There's nothing like home opener magic minute, right, Coach?
Nothing like the magic minute, and you can hear it up here. It's deafening how much the fans love it.
Looking for a switch there. No problem for Rocha. Aiden Rocha in his third season with Switchbacks, the 25-year-old. He's made 50 appearances for the club. Seymour, he's got to be careful there. Almost put that over the head of Chris Shakes. Costly turnover here by New Mexico. Here's Perez. And that left-footed strike is blocked. Well, Perez spent the last couple seasons in purple with Louisville City. Prior to that, spent a season with San Diego Loyal. And you know, Coach, you and I were talking about Louisville and just sort of what they were able to build over the last couple seasons. Perez, he was a key part of that.
He was, and I mean, I think that's a club that probably most USL clubs are building themselves on. Huge crowds, loyal fans, they're good every year, and they just have their own culture, and you can feel that. And I think that's something that, you know, both of these clubs are working really hard to attain within their environments. But Louisville, to me, has been a shining star of the USL on the men's side for a while.
And they have a gorgeous, gorgeous stadium as well. Lynn Family Stadium. As Foster looks to play this one in.
Gorgeous stadium, and actually they share that with an NWSL team, which is kind of a cool, to me that's a great balance in terms of stadium size, and they made the NWSL playoffs for the first time ever last year too, so just a community that loves football.
Corner kick coming up here. Let's look at the New Mexico United bench. couple of academy contract players dressing out for New Mexico United today. Backup keeper Taryn Wente and also midfielder Grady Gilchrist. As the cross comes in, and that was sneaky there from Williams. Shakes wants to have a discussion with Christian Campo Hernandez.
Salimos, mira ahí.
Let's take another look on this TLC replay. A lot of commotion going on there. We'll try again. Looked like they went for the same thing that time.
Yeah, twice now, just trying to set a pick for that near post and see if they can catch New Mexico United on that screen.
25 minutes in the books here in Albuquerque. Tyler Ortega alongside Heather Dyke for the first time in 2026. Nice little dummy there from Nava. Noel still in possession. Noel this time plays it across. Great ball laid off for Hurst. Reed Stephen just tried to gently lay that off for the Scotsman.
I thought maybe he actually could have not been so selfless. It looked like maybe he could have had his own strike there instead of laying that off. But what a ball from Noel. The texture of that, the pace of that was unbelievable. Just sat right at his feet.
Valentin Noel, he was also a mid-season acquisition for New Mexico last year. He was acquired in July. Made 16 appearances, scored 3 times for the black and yellow in league play.
He's a player that's really good at dictating pace. He can control a game. Like you see every time he gets it, he has a good sense of whether things need to go quickly or slow down a little bit, and those players are so valuable in the system.
Very familiar with the system of Dennis Sanchez as well. He played under Sanchez in Las Vegas over the last couple of years, and then prior to that was also part of the Austin FC2 squad that Dennis Sanchez was the assistant coach of. So a lot of familiarity between those two.
That might be why he's so comfortable within the system. But you see, he plays in a way that he kind of has a lot of freedom.
New Mexico again, with that high press. Rocha. It's back to Talon Maples, the former New Mexico United man. Maples was the club's leading scorer in all competitions last year. The vast majority of those coming from the penalty spot. It was a role that he had picked up about 2 years ago after some troubles. He became the go-to guy.
It's an impressive stat for a defender.
And just, what he brings to the table, not only as a defender, but as a leader.
Yeah. I loved when Talon Maples was here. I thought he was a great player, and he just seemed in the community and on the field just to be, like you said, a great person and a great leader. So you wish him nothing but the best within his new environment. It's not an easy thing to do to get the captain's armband for New Mexico United. That's a long history of pretty good guys. So
you talk about, some of the likes of Josh Suggs, Galen Ryden, Alex Tambakis a couple of times, but that's really where the list ends.
That's where the list ends. So if you've worn it, it's an elite category to be in.
And that honor now bestowed upon Will Seymour. He's been with the club since 2022. He's making his 113th league appearance in black and yellow today. We've got a quick look at that New Mexico United bench there, Coach, and might recognize one of the faces down there. Daniel Bruce is actually a first-team assistant coach now following his retirement from professional football last season.
What a pickup that is for New Mexico United. I mean, again, talking about the list of quality humans, there's not many like Daniel Bruce. So to see him now taking his skill set and teaching, to me, it's just a perfect transition. I think he'll be an outstanding coach.
Perez loses possession there on the edge of the 18. Shakes, really no option there, just plays it out. There's a look at Daniel Bruce sitting alongside another former New Mexico United player in David Estrada. Estrada actually is the head coach of the New Mexico United Academy. I'd love to see those guys just continuing their careers, continuing to make an impact.
Yeah, it shows you that you have a program and not just a team. And that's what you want. Somebody who just finished their playing career and wants to stay here and coach. Someone who's been involved in lots of different levels and now gets to be on the senior team bench. And now you have cohesion between the youth programs and the senior program. And you talked about 2 youth players on the bench, and that's exactly what you want. So it's kudos to New Mexico United for investing in the entire system and the entire program and not just trying to win games with a top team.
Long throw coming up here for Switchbacks. Naples and Gloucester just mixing it up there as this one bounces towards the back post. That was almost dangerous there for Brennan Creek.
Just rehearsed and scripted on the throw-ins, and that little back pick, it's just freeing up that deep side runner. So something definitely New Mexico United's going to have to review on film at halftime and see if they can't find a way to cut that out, because right now it's causing a lot of problems.
Switch there from Hamalainen to Reed Stephen. Well, Niall Reed Stephen, we talked about his breakout campaign last year in USL League One. He was part of a South Georgia Tormenta side. Reed Stephen had 20 goal contributions in 28 appearances, 13 goals, 7 assists. As Noel looking to break, Valentin Noel goes down. Noel draws the foul, and Juan Tejada has been shown yellow.
That, the recognition just to take that touch in front of your defender. A lot of players don't do that, and it creates you have no option. You have to foul there. Really, really smart touch from Noel on the breakaway.
And that's a bit unfortunate there for Juan Tejada, because we mentioned earlier the fouls already starting to accumulate for the veteran, and now he goes into the book just past the half-hour mark.
He's a fiery player. I mean, you can hear him from up here in his demeanor with the team and the players, and I think sometimes that fire is what makes players great, but it can be the other way too, and he's going to have to watch it now for the rest of the game.
That sets up this free kick here. You've got Greg Hurst and the aforementioned Niall Reed Stephen both standing over this. This used to be Mukwele Akale territory, but he has since moved on. He now plays for Louisville.
Yeah, he was a specialist here, wasn't he? And even further than that back, Chris Wehan. I mean, I remember him lining up to take these kicks, and he felt like it was 70-30 it was going in,
So these two standing over it. Greg Hurst, the leading goal scorer in USL Championship play for New Mexico last year. 8 goals for the Scotsman.
Yeah, New Mexico United just stacking those 2 players next to the wall and trying to take away the vision from the goalkeeper as well. So something they've been working on here.
And it is Greg Hurst, and Greg Hurst just sends it over the crossbar. And it looks like we've got a yellow card. I believe that's been shown to Nico Hamalainen. We'll wait for confirmation on that one. Now looks like there's some questions being asked of the official all the way back in the Switchbacks 18-yard box. So you see there was a little bit of an elbow there from Will Seymour, and so I think that yellow card might have gone Seymour's way rather than Hamalainen after having a look at that TLC replay.
Yeah, and probably a little bit of frustration. And I mean, we talked about some of the picking and things that are coming on down on this end from switchbacks, and you can see a little bit of retaliation there, and he got caught. So if you throw the elbow, it's a yellow. Oh, they could have Hamalainen.
If that's the case, if I'm Hamalainen, I'm feeling pretty hard done.
I agree. Or we missed something in the replay.
Hope Will Seymour at least buys him some lunch for taking that yellow card. It's already 3 players into the officials' book, and we're not even 35 minutes into this one.
And the game's getting a little bit chippy, and this is where, if you're coaching, you want your team to take a deep breath and not get involved in it. Like, especially if you're New Mexico United and you're in your home field, like, keeping a level head here, I think, is going to benefit them.
It's Perez standing over this ball. Perez will deliver. A couple of switchbacks go to ground there. Second ball, no problem for the former Penn State Nittany Lion, Chris Shakes. Shakes had a stellar career up in State College. He was there from 2019 to 2023. He picked up a win or a draw in 62 out of 73 matches.
That's an incredible stat.
Chris Shakes is making his 21st start between the sticks for New Mexico. He's picked up 9 wins in that time. 5 clean sheets last year. Here's Bennett. Poked away by Noel. Shakes sort of a mid-season change
Pues bueno,
there
seguimos
between
acá en el juego.
Alex Tambakis and himself. Is Dennis Sanchez. You know, things weren't going the way that he wanted them to. Made a bit of a change to the lineup, and the job from there on out was Chris Shakes.
It's a good problem to have when you have those 2 goalkeepers battling it out, you know, and I think anytime they're both hyper talented, and good for Shakes for being in a situation where you're behind the clear starter and you work your way in, because that's not typically the situation. So it says a lot to his character and how he can prove that on the training ground.
A clear starter and also the USL Championship's all-time saves leader.
Yep.
And so somebody that's done this at perhaps the highest level for a very long time. Long throw comes in. Goal kick. And there was Matusla that headed that ball out.
You see in the throw-ins and the set pieces, and there's just not a lot of first contact wins for New Mexico United. And I think that's something they're going to have to look at a little bit, because if they don't win that first contact and those balls drop, Colorado's getting second opportunities from it. So it's challenging players that you know are good in the air. I mean, Jabang and Seymour and some of these players to really focus on that first contact and not get picked off.
Greg Hurst gets a toe in there. New Mexico now looking to create something. Here's Wilkerson.
I think he may have just megged the ref.
Also receiving word that Wilkerson was also shown yellow just a couple of minutes ago, and so it's for dissent. So Wilkerson and Hamalainen both into the book over the last few minutes for New Mexico. A lot of yellows already. 2 on either side. How about that? Greg Hurst getting back and doing a little bit of defending there for New Mexico.
Yeah, switchbacks have done a nice job kind of in their creation phase of unbalancing and creating those numbers where Hurst has to recover.
Shakes has to come off his line, and a sliding challenge to clear that ball away. Well, that was dangerous there from Masareka. Another long throw coming up here for Switchbacks, and now, Coach, the chances starting to pile up.
Better there with winning the first contact and at least clearing your lines, and gives an opportunity to get their defense set up again.
Second ball dealt with by Luther Arshamed.
It's just such an underrated weapon to have a throw-in like that in the final third. It changes everything into an actual set piece and a threat.
New Mexico looking to get something going here. It feels like we really haven't seen them threaten Colin Shuttler since really the opening 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, and I think you see Colorado Switchbacks kind of settled into this 4-1-4-1 in the press, and it's caused problems. They're putting New Mexico United under pressure high up the field, which prevents them from really being able to settle in and kind of pick apart teams the way they like to do.
Greg Hurst goes down. Reed Stephen able to come into possession. That ball poked away from a darting Chris Gloucester, but I think for a moment everyone held their breath to make sure Hurst was okay. So another Topo Chico hard seltzer corner kick. 40 minutes gone by here at the lab. Christian Nava set to deliver. Now it looks like somebody from Switchbacks on the ground. Foster and Jabang that time. Here's Nava. Back post, and that goes over everyone's heads.
Yeah, I think he probably wants that one back. Just a little too far on that one. Switchbacks are finding a lot of success breaking down this press. You wonder if, at the halftime here, this is going to be something that Coach Sanchez reviews. I mean, it's high energy, it's high press, but they've found success playing direct over it. And you wonder if he's going to adjust and maybe add an extra number back here and take away that long ball.
Speaking of a long ball, that is in there from Talon Maples. Perez does well to win the throw in that time. Here's Bennett. Creek able to tap it forward. Perez gets a shot off. Right into the waiting arms of Chris Shakes. Jabang loses his footing. Here comes Perez now. Great ball for Rocha. Rocha now delivers. Eventually just cleared away by Niall Reed-Stephen. Switchbacks. We've spent a good amount of time here in this New Mexico United final third. It looks like Jabang just mixing it up a little bit with some of the Switchbacks players. I think that was Corey Bennett that time that went to ground.
Yeah, it's all these dead ball situations, and the players need to be a little bit careful, especially when sitting on a yellow, because he's shown he's not afraid to pull the card out. And you don't want your temper to flare up there and lose a player for the rest of the game because of something like that.
So that is Christian Campo Hernandez. He's the official here today. So let's try this again. That ball headed out. Tejada sends it into the crowd. So we've got 1 minute of New Mexico Pinon Coffee stoppage time. The taste of enchantment. There's still time for one more opportunity here before the halftime break. And Coach, I think we're still waiting for our first big chance.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like either team has really found a rhythm. Like, you're not going to say this is their system and this is their style. It just kind of looks like two teams that are competing hard, but nobody's really settled in and kind of taken over the game. And I think both teams are going to want to come out of halftime and assert themselves and get rid of some of this emotional play and settle in and kind of show you who they are. And it's certainly for Coach Sanchez to keep the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of halftime, that was the halftime whistle just a few moments ago. We're scoreless here through the first 45 between New Mexico United and Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. We'll go ahead and step aside, and we'll be back here in just a moment.
Game on at New Mexico's ultimate game day destination, Sandia Sportsbook. With live wagering 7 days a week, Albuquerque's best sportsbook is ready for action. Bet at Sandia Sportsbook or at kiosk locations on the casino floor. Sandia Sportsbook offers amazing food and drink specials with spectacular views. Sports betting has come to Sandia. Sandia Sportsbook. Game on.
Back here at the lab. Thanks for joining us, Tyler Ortega, alongside U.S. Women's National Team U23 head coach Heather Dyke. We are scoreless through the opening 45 minutes between New Mexico United and Switchbacks FC. Why don't we take a look at how that actually, let's take a look at our schedules here. We're the first game of the day on the USL Championship slate, and so let's take a look at the action that is coming up here throughout the rest of the afternoon and into the night. You can catch most of these games on ESPN+. There is the Golazo game between Tampa Bay and Loudoun, but Coach, I think one that I'm really looking forward to seeing is Brooklyn, the newcomers, playing host to Louisville City.
Yeah, you have to love when there's new teams in the league and they're starting to identify themselves and develop a rhythm. And to play Louisville, there's a newcomer and kind of the big dog.
Yeah, and then you look at that match just above them in Miami, Rhode Island. You've got Detroit and Charleston doing battle here. Actually, here in just a few minutes, that game should be kicking off. And so plenty of games going on. In fact, there's even more later on in the evening. Let's go ahead and take a look at those, which is where you're going to see a lot of the Western Conference teams. And so fans of our two clubs that we're watching right now in New Mexico and Switchbacks, I think this is where you'll see a lot of the attention later on in a big-time showdown between Sacramento and El Paso later on this evening.
You can just sit on the couch today, turn on ESPN Plus, and watch good soccer all day long. That's a good day. Well,
let's take a look at what's coming up next for New Mexico United. They're going to be at Orange County on April 4th, and then they make the trip out to the Valley where they're going to take on Phoenix Rising. And we're back here at the Lab as they'll play host to AV Alta FC. That is the first time that New Mexico will play against AV Alta. It's part of the Prinks Tires USL Cup. Then we'll be back against El Paso and Las Vegas there in early May. And so a lot of really good games coming up on the schedule. Can't wait. Make sure to get on SeatGeek, get your tickets for those, as we'll go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be back here on the other side of this.
Match day one, it's the season opener of the USL Championship.
No time like the present for these teams to make a statement and begin the campaign on the right foot.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kind of everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Prinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks Tires will be there for the long haul.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
It is halftime in the USL Championship. We hope you're enjoying your match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines from the week. Youth took center stage for the championship in round one of the U.S. Open Cup. Phoenix Rising put 5 teenagers in the lineup and cruised to a 4-0 win over San Ramon FC. 4 of those 5 teenage players are academy products. And how about 16-year-old Tyson Espy? He scored the winning goal in a 1-0 Orange County victory over Colorado Springs. Espy is one of 5 players in the championship that have played matches for U.S. Youth National Team. Well, not to be outdone, we feature a veteran player, Tampa Bay Rowdies forward Russell Cicerone, who scored his 70th career goal in Week 3 against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Cicerone enters Week 4 11th all-time in USL Championship goals, and he's making his way up the all-time list in appearances with 234. Upcoming matches to watch in the championship. Saturday, April 4th, Louisville City hosting Charleston Battery. Saturday, April 18th, Charleston back on CBS SN hosting Tampa Bay Rowdies. And then the Brinks Tires USL Cup on April 25th. Hartford Athletic hosts rival Rhode Island on CBS SN. This is the USL halftime update. We're getting closer to the second half. Let's send you back to your match. As we embark on another long journey to USL titles in the Championship and League One, contenders are now joined by even more contenders. 2026 opens the door to 7 new clubs, 2 in the Championship, 5 in League One. Sporting Jacks and Brooklyn FC joined the Eastern Conference in the Championship, increasing the league total to 25 clubs. And another record for League One, with AC Boise, Corpus Christi FC, Fort Wayne FC, New York Cosmos, and Sarasota Paradise matching the expansion record of 5 teams just last year. It makes an interesting challenge for all League One teams with playoff expectations, beginning with defending champion One Knoxville. And head coach Ian Fuller loves the challenge. What is different this year about preparations for expansion clubs, which means more travel, more talent coming into the league?
Yeah, you have to be ready for anything in this league. Yeah. Almost every league in North America is like this. You're going to have expansion teams, a lot of different players. We've got a lot of new players, and we're going to face a lot of new players in the league, and some new clubs and some new venues. It's kind of just the trickiness of this league.
Do teams coming in just because they're new doesn't mean they're at a disadvantage against, well-oiled teams like yours?
No, certainly you've got coaches that have coached in the league and done really, really well come in and with expansion teams. So, you've got a lot of players that have played in the league and played in higher leagues. You're going to have some really difficult opponents, even though they are expansion teams.
Last season, FC Naples finished 4th in the League One standings, one of 2 expansion teams to make the postseason. A tough task for new clubs this year as League One grows to 17 clubs.
Oh, what a strike!
Well, it is a beautiful day here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're back here at the lab, halftime between New Mexico United and Switchbacks FC. Let's take a look at our first half highlights. It is scoreless through the opening 45, but we are not short of any action here, coaches. It was New Mexico asking the questions early on.
Yeah, a couple good opportunities for both teams, and they tend to came from transition opportunities or second balls off set pieces, and I think both teams are going to try and emphasize now, can we settle in a little bit more, keep the ball, and really keep the ball more in the finishing phase especially, and settle in and find a rhythm.
I think it was more so several half chances than any big chances, real chances for really both sides. This is about as good as it got for Switchbacks FC with Corey Bennett.
1 or 2 good chances, but you didn't really feel like a goal was coming that half.
Look at our halftime stats here. The possession split right down the middle, and not a ton of XG on either side, and so kind of just going back to what we were saying there.
Those stats to me represent exactly what the game feels like. Like neither team has really asserted themselves. Neither team was very dangerous. And that's fun as a coach, because then you get to go in at halftime and actually go, hey, what can we do here? What can we adjust to make sure that our style is going to be the dominant one coming out of the whistle?
We'll see whose adjustments are most effective when we come back here on the other side of this. We've got the second half coming your way.
In the land of enchantment, every move counts. That's why you need New Mexico Orthopedics to get you back doing the things you love. The official orthopedic surgeons of New Mexico United. Somos Unidos.
When you join the New Mexico State Police, you're stepping into more than a patrol car. You're stepping into possibility. From tactical missions to underwater recoveries, from negotiating under pressure and mastering the skies with cutting-edge drone technology.
Game on at New Mexico's ultimate game day destination, Sandia Sportsbook. With live wagering 7 days a week, Albuquerque's best sportsbook is ready for action. Bet at Sandia Sportsbook or at kiosk locations on the casino floor. Sandia Sportsbook offers amazing food and drink specials with spectacular views. Sports betting has come to Sandia. Sandia Sportsbook. Game on.
In the land of enchantment, every move counts. That's why you need New Mexico Orthopedics to get you back doing the things you love. The official orthopedic surgeons of New Mexico United. Somos Unidos.
Second 45 coming up here in just a moment. We are scoreless between New Mexico United and Switchbacks FC. Tyler Ortega here alongside the head coach of the U23 United States Women's National Team, Heather Dyke. And Coach, you were talking about some of the adjustments there during halftime. If you're New Mexico United, what adjustments would you make to sort of see your side take control of this match?
I think every Dennis Sanchez team kind of prides themselves on keeping a ball and finding a rhythm and really breaking teams down tactically. And if I'm coming in to coach against them, I want to take that away. And I think that's exactly what Colorado did that half. They made them play direct. They made them play a bit emotional. They kind of got them riled up and yellow card, and that's not a typical New Mexico United team. So to me, I'm telling my team to settle in, to find a rhythm, to hold their formation, to play a little bit more through the midfield and actually keep possession and move the opponent.
Switchbacks, as we showed you there during those halftime highlights, they had a few half chances, but by and large, didn't really feel like either team were able to break through.
No, and I would also guess that the pass sequence number in that half was low. There wasn't a whole lot of either team really just kind of dictating play.
So we'll see if there were any substitutions made. It doesn't look like it. We didn't see anybody out warming up during the halftime break. It's good to see Kip Keller out there for New Mexico. He's got a substitute jersey on, the pennies. Kip Keller, he was acquired mid-season, was actually brought in on loan from Minnesota United and then signed to a permanent deal in the offseason, which I know New Mexico United fans have to be absolutely thrilled about following the retirement of longtime captain and center back Kaylin Ryden.
Absolutely, and they share some similar qualities. Like you talk about a steady center back that can dictate play, and that's also really good in the air. And I think that's something a little bit that New Mexico United is missing right now is can they dominate all these throw-ins and all the corner kicks and just get rid of the second chances.
And Kaylin Ryden, he's here today. He is in attendance. He did retire from professional football at the end of last season, but he's here today, Coach. He's in a little bit of a different role. He's actually photographing the match today, and so you'll see him down alongside pitch side today. He's got a brown hat on with his blue media penny. He's actually down by our camera on the field right now. But it's just so cool to see, former players, especially like that, coming back and just pursuing a passion following, the conclusion of your playing career.
Yeah, and being given the opportunity to pursue the passion, like to actually, hey, come take photographs for us, be a part of it, be a part of the family. We'll help you follow your passion.
So the second half getting underway here in just a moment. Great look at the crowd. And we've talked a couple of times about it today, but the weather just cooperating following what was just an ugly day yesterday. We had sustained winds at about 30 miles per hour. The gusts were 50 to 70. It was just disgusting outside yesterday, but couldn't ask for anything better here today.
Yeah, this is our reward for having to deal with yesterday. Today's weather is our gift, because yesterday was not nice. I was about to call you and tell you I couldn't make it if it was going to be like that again.
Players standing in solidarity around the midfield circle. You see some of the fans showing some signs that they've got in the stands there. So we are indeed underway here. Second 45 from the Lab in Albuquerque. Both of these teams just looking to find a way through and break the deadlock. Masareka, he runs over Will Seymour, and Seymour draws the foul. What's funny is at the start of the first half, Will Seymour drew a foul 9 seconds in. It's the same thing here to start this second half.
It's a smart veteran player there. Just use your body and slow down the threat.
Jabang as New Mexico settle into possession. And fans, we'd like to let you know that the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. You can catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Bang draws the foul that time. Hamalainen. In fact, that yellow card was in fact given to Nico Hamalainen in that first half. It's Perez. He's run off the ball. And Valentin Noel has now been booked. Just trying to plead his case there, Noel. And that is the 5th yellow card that has been shown today. Yellow cards brought to you by the guys at Ferguson Law Firm. So that means Noel, Hamalainen, and Wilkerson all on yellows right now for New Mexico. Official today, Christian Campo Hernandez. Noel immediately got up and tried to plead his case. Quick yellow that time.
Quick yellow, and to your point, Tyler, probably the ref trying to set a tone for the half. Like, let's cut this out. Let's just play. But Colorado Switchbacks coming out with that same energy and 2 fouls early. So clearly it's going to be a half where managing your emotions is going to become important if you want to keep all of your players in the field.
That ball was searching for the upper 90 there. Chris Shakes watches it go over his goal. Yeah, things started to get a little bit out of, almost out of control there towards the latter stages of that first half.
Yeah, frustration's boiling over, and you can see it in the way that both teams are playing.
A lot of familiar faces on these two squads, and of course with the proximity, the cup play, regular season play. These guys have seen each other a lot over recent years. Foul called against New Mexico. It's the former New Mexico man, Maples. He gives the ball away, and Archimed could not finish there. He was one-on-one with Shuttler. As Maples, he went to ground. He thought he was fouled.
Hard to see from here, but either way, you know you're going to want that finish back and just settle in and put it in the back of the net. Yeah, there's no foul there. Oof.
Greg Hurst just off to the left there of Archimed. Was begging for it. Archimed looking for his first goal at the Lab. Scored twice for New Mexico last year, both of them on the road. Once in San Antonio, once against his former club in Monterey Bay. Seymour goes down. He draws the foul. Well, fans, you can watch the USL Championship in Spanish on TUDN. That is the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. You can also watch every New Mexico United home game in Spanish as well, as Manny Esquivel and his partner are just a couple doors down from us, providing live commentary on the match. Seymour gets ahead onto that ball and guides it out for a corner kick. Fourth corner kick of the match for Switchbacks. Seems like so many more because of that long throw that they have.
Yeah, and it just was really kind of killing the rhythm of the game. It seems like the ball's been out of play or set pieces more than the ball's actually been in play.
Soreka got that one wrong. Been very, very stop and go today.
Very stop and go. And you can see Switchbacks now kind of changing their press and coming with the front two, and they're going to double down on their tactic, take away New United's ability to play out, and it's working.
Hamalainen able to get his foot to that ball, finds Gloucester now. Gloucester was looking to switch the play, nearly gave that ball away, and he does, and Seymour has conceded a penalty. Tough position for the captain, Will Seymour, to be in. I think on first look, the referees got it right.
From first look, it looked right up here as well. I mean, it's such a hard spot to be in because it's recovery mode. You think you have possession, and unfortunately the ball's given away. And to defend in the box and not give up a foul there is difficult, especially when they kind of arrive at the same time there.
Yeah, and you see on that angle, it doesn't look like Will Seymour gets any of the ball. Instead, gets all of Masareka.
No, it looks like a good call from the referee here.
Saddam Masareka, the 21-year-old out of Uganda, making just his third professional appearance here today for Switchbacks. And so a huge opportunity. Just 10 minutes out of the half.
Chris Shakes is in no rush to go take the line. See if he can ice the kicker here a little bit.
Chris Shakes did have one penalty save last season. He faced 4. This is Corey Bennett. Bennett sneaks it by Shakes, and Switchbacks have opened up the scoring 57 minutes in. It's the second goal of the season for Corey Bennett.
Well, Shakes guessed right, but if a kicker can put a ball in the side netting like that, it's almost impossible to save. So now it's up to New Mexico United to respond.
So a huge goal there for Switchbacks, as finally somebody able to break through.
Well, and you felt like it wasn't going to come in the run of play. I mean, most of the dangerous chances have all been off of a throw-in or a set piece or a corner, and it seems fitting that the first goal comes off of a penalty.
Corey Bennett actually had a brace against New Mexico United last season, playing for Sacramento Republic. New Mexico looking to pull one back, and instead that pass well behind Niall Reed-Stephen. Here's Wilkerson. Wilkerson on a yellow card. Picked that one up 37 minutes into that first half. As Niall Reed-Stephen has that ball deflected off of his foot. It sounds like change is coming here for the black and yellow. See a few substitutions lining up. Get to those in just a moment. Here's Hurst trying to turn. Noel breaks through. Noel has it bouncing off of his former teammate in Talon Maples. And the official has ruled it as a goal kick.
From here, that certainly looked like a corner kick. I think that's why he stopped trying to make the play. He thought he won a clear corner.
This will be a good look here on this TLC replay. Did it catch Noel when it went up right there?
Hard to see from our angle. Although, if I'm Noel and it did touch me, I'm probably going to try and get an extra touch on it there, which I think he could have.
60 minutes gone by here at the Lab in Albuquerque. This has been a battle between New Mexico United and Switchbacks. So, a lot of changes coming up here for Dennis Sanchez. So we've got Dayon Harris on for Christian Nava. We're also going to see Kip Keller in to replace Will Seymour. Jake LaCava is on as well, and he replaces Luther Arshamed. Excuse me, I believe that's Justin Renix. My apologies, not Jake LaCava. So it's a home debut here today for Justin Rennicks. Spent the last 2 seasons in the top flight in Finland. Rennicks, so far this season, has the only league goal for New Mexico United. As Niall Reed-Stephen got his footing wrong there.
He got his footing wrong, yeah. Those are the ones where you look back at the turf, even if it wasn't the turf. It has to be something else when you misstrike it. We've all been there, more than we care to admit. I think interesting timing from Coach Sanchez, too, to bring on some subs here and see if you can give a different look, because what was happening doesn't seem to be working. So can he settle in? Can the different forwards provide a different opportunity, and Keller settle in the game and kind of build from the back a little bit more than they have been?
Rennicks mentioned that goal that he scored earlier this season. It was in Oakland. It came as a second-half substitute. Greg Hurst, huge save by Shuttler. Best opportunity so far for New Mexico. Here comes Reed-Stephen, ball in again. And that's what it took to really wake these guys up there, Coach.
Yeah, that's it. And you see from Reed-Stephen, like, that's a quality service there. I think on the other ones you see blind service with his head down and just playing a ball and hoping. That one, he picked his head up, put it right on Hurst's head, and he created, made the goalkeeper save the game.
Well, tried to dial one up from long range that time, but off frame. That is a look at Justin Rennicks, New England native out of Hamilton, Massachusetts. Spent a lot of time in the New England Revolution system. Made 42 MLS appearances for the first team. Also spent some time with their 2 team in League One and Next Pro. Here's Harris. Dayon Harris. Ball goes out. It's going to be a goal kick. With those substitutions, they've really added a spark to this New Mexico United offense.
Yeah, you see it already. There's a little bit more energy in the attack, and Hurst seems to be finding the ball quite a bit more. And you don't know if that's just he feels more comfortable playing with different players, but we haven't said his name much, and all of a sudden now he's at the end of quite a few things. So hopefully that continues to happen.
Dayon Harris, Colin Shuttler, they know each other well. It was Colin Shuttler that Dayon Harris scored against in the dying moments of that playoff match last year.
Great touch from Hurst.
Looking to thread the needle. Here comes Harris. He gets on the end of it. Dayon Harris opens up the scoring for New Mexico. We're tied 1 goal apiece.
What a ball from Greg Hurst into the oncoming runner. So difficult to do in the run of play. Slot that in between the gap. Unbelievable goal.
Just made mention of how Dayon Harris scored against Shuttler. Turns up and does it here today. Huge goal there for New Mexico. They needed that.
Huge goal, and you're seeing these runs now off the ball and kind of finding the ball in the seam above the Colorado's back line, and I think if they continue to do that, it'll continue to happen.
That is the first goal of the season for Dayon Harris. I'm not quite sure what happened, but there's a Switchbacks player down right now.
Just on the kickoff, he just ran straight through him. I'm not quite sure what that was about.
Well, that is the man that everybody's got their eye on right now, Dayon Harris. You talk about players coming back from injury. Dayon Harris suffered a torn ACL mid-2024, worked his way back. He came back towards the latter half of last season, was an instant catalyst for this New Mexico United squad.
Yeah, absolutely. He plays with an energy, and he makes these runs off the ball, and when he does get it, he's explosive. And you see there, he also has the ability to take a deep breath and find some composure in his finishing, and I think that's something New Mexico United really is going to need from him as the season goes on.
Deion Harris, he played 83 minutes last week in San Antonio, had one chance created. Comes out today as a substitute, instant impact off the bench. And this is quickly a player that the black and yellow faithful are really beginning to love, is New Mexico looking for a second now. Jabang just had his angle wrong with that cross.
Had his angle wrong, and I think that's something, you're seeing quite a few times now, is when you do get into those assist zones and you do get higher up the field, is can you play the right ball? Because the runs are there. So can you increase the odds of what ball you play by, getting your head up and making sure that they really refine that, because it's hard to get in there. Now that final ball matters.
Well, New Mexico made some changes, had an impact, and it looks like Switchbacks looking to do the same. We see a couple of subs getting ready to come on down at the technical area as Wilkerson has been fouled. Cam Wilkerson, just 21 years old. He was signed to a 25-day contract by New Mexico United on March 17th. He's spent the last few seasons playing collegiately at Cal and UCLA. Prior to that, spent a little bit of time within the Portland Timbers organization. Here comes Deion Harris once again, able to get on the end of this long ball. That speed that he has, it's just such a weapon.
Well, it's speed and it's timing. I mean, he looks up and you see him making the runs and staying on side, and then Keller to deliver that ball is outstanding. But now you have speed on both sides, and I think that's really helping United.
Keller, shot blocked. Reed Stevens sends it back in. The ball's going to go out for a goal kick, but Kip Keller, he put a lot of effort into that shot, coach, and came up limping afterward.
He did, yeah. It looks like he may have tweaked an ankle or something. It seems to be getting better as he's moving, but yeah, came up a little bit limp there.
Kip Keller, the St. Louis, Missouri native, scored his first professional goal against Colin Shuttler last October. 51st minute goal off a corner kick. It's the only goal Kip Keller has scored in his professional career. So we are going to see a couple of changes here for Switchbacks. Jonas Fjellberg comes on. It also looks like, I believe, Frank DeRoma as well, the former El Paso man. Those substitutions brought to you by Chiba Hut, toasted subs and sandwiches. So just over 20 minutes remaining here in this 2026 home opener for the black and yellow. These two squads, they've produced some classics over the years. We go back to just last season in Jägermeister Cup play. We saw our first ever penalty shootout here at the Lab, which New Mexico were victorious 3-2. In fact, Maples converted his penalty against his now current club in that shootout. And then we think back to a few summers ago, Christian Nava scored his first goal at the Lab during the Magic Minute here against Switchbacks. New Mexico with their late 2 goals in stoppage time back in the summer of 2021, with Michael Azira getting on the score sheet that time. Never know what you're going to see when these two clubs get together.
There's been some big moments without question. And also, I mean, just proximity leads the rivalry. And like I think just the amount of times that you play each other and how close you are, driving distance, you kind of build this passion to beat the other team.
Was as successful as New Mexico have been in this rivalry, I'm sure Gloucester is going to play this ball in, but the same. I'm sure these New Mexico United fans would trade it in for exactly one of what Colorado Springs have, and that's a league title and a star above their crest.
Without question. Without question. And, you know, that intensifies the rivalry, doesn't it? Because we started at similar times, and you want that star. So good for them, something that New Mexico United is chasing. And again, here's Harris. Every time he touches the ball, something positive's happening.
Topo Chico hard seltzer corner kick. Harris sends this in, back post. Second ball goes in, and it's eventually at the feet of Daroma. There's Tejada now. Well, fans, once again, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Justin Renix goes into the book. Yellow cards brought to you by Ferguson Law Firm. When you've been fouled, call Ferguson Law Firm, New Mexico's leading personal injury attorneys for over 40 years. Thanks for joining us here today, whether you're watching on ESPN Plus around the country. This ball finds Perez. Switchbacks could be onto something. Tejada, and it's cleared away at the last moment by Kip Keller. And I'm sure all the Switchbacks supporters that are watching at the Brit Pub up in the Springs holding their breath there at that moment.
Holding their breath. Really, really nice play there, and find the ball in the seam and then turning it face up. And it takes an exceptional effort by Keller to prevent that from being a goal.
Tejada, talk about somebody that has pedigree, was the USL Cup final MVP a couple of seasons ago when Switchbacks won. Ball goes in, tipped over by Shakes. Just look at the stride from Niall Reed-Steven. Reed-Steven looking to ping this ball forward, and Greg Hurst couldn't track it down.
The idea was right. The idea was right. And what an exceptional first touch for him to use his pace there to get around the corner.
It's just an interesting sight to see there with Niall Reed-Steven running stride for stride with Frank Daroma. I think Daroma had to take 2 strides for every one of Reed-Stevens.
Yeah, he is. He's an exceptional athlete, isn't he? And it is a long stride when he runs. There's not a lot of choppy steps.
When you look at the two players, Frank Daroma listed at 5'4", Niall Reed-Steven 6 foot. A little bit of a size disparity between the two. A little bit of time wasting there. Foster might have been lucky to get away without a yellow that time. It was pretty deliberate. Beautiful spring day in Albuquerque. Hamalainen. Hamalainen, the outside back by trade. And here, out of necessity, here's Dayon Harris. Great ball. Here's Noel. And it takes the deflection. New Mexico take the lead. Valentin Noel puts the black and yellow ahead. It's the first goal of the season for the Frenchman, and it comes at the expense of his former teammate Talon Maples and an unfortunate deflection.
The ball, though, and the vision, the service there is unbelievable. To take a deep breath, pick your head up, not go for the first runner, and then slot that ball back into space. That's exactly what you want from New Mexico United.
And who else but Deon Harris creating for the black and yellow once again. They look like almost a completely different side since those substitutes came on.
They do. And credit to Harris, because he's just exceptional on the ball, and it's electric when he touches it. He's getting around people. He's making the right decisions. He's creating for himself and others.
And so Switchbacks, they go from 1-0 up to now just 20 minutes later staring at a 2-1 deficit.
And the tactics will change for them now. Some of the time wasting and some of these things that they're doing, kind of hoping to get out of here with a point, they can't do anymore. So they're going to have to make some adjustments and see if they can find an equalizer.
Keller looking to connect with Harris. He finds the feet of the speedster. Here's Harris. Cross goes in. Maples gets a foot to it. Only as far as Greg Hurst. Scotsman still with the ball at his feet. Here's Hurst. Turns the corner. And Maples with a sliding tackle to concede the corner. But the fans here at the Lab, Coach, on their feet.
Well, they should be. That's some special dribbling right there from Hurst to be able to keep that ball, turn a corner, get inside. And he's right in front of, the New Mexico United faithful over there. So he's going to hear it from them. He deserves to.
Topo Chico hard seltzer corner kick coming up. Hello, crisp, refreshing taste. Hello, Topo Chico hard seltzer. This is Deon Harris. Again, another Switchbacks player on the ground. We wait for a corner delivery. We'll try this again. Harris sends this one in, and we've got a foul. Switchbacks looking to build out from the back. And fans, we'd like to let you know that soccer season is here. And SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats. SeatGeek also the official ticketing provider of New Mexico United. And so make sure you are grabbing your season tickets while they're still available. 16 more games, part of the regular season package after this. If you're just looking to come out to a game, well, make sure you get your official verified tickets on SeatGeek. As here comes New Mexico once again. Ball cut out. There's Tejada. Foot race there, and it's won by Matusla. Just over 10 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. We've got our official attendance number in for our 2026 home opener here today. 9,491 in attendance. Brought to you by New Mexico Mutual.
They couldn't have picked a better day to come out and enjoy some New Mexico United soccer. It's beautiful out here today.
Hoping to go home with the first points of the USL Championship season. They're dribbling that time, cross blocked. As Williams looking to send one in. There's Noel. It's a little bit of a question as to whether that goal from Noel would be ruled an own goal for Talon Maples. From what we see here, it is officially credited to Valentin Noel, with Deion Harris getting the assist. Bad turnover there. Greg Hurst whistled for the foul. Perez. Perez cross goes in, back post, and Fjellberg was battling that time with Usman Jabang. Couple changes here for either side. We're going to see Levante Johnson on for Switchbacks. He's on to replace Juan Tejada, and is a club debut for a new face. It is defender Malik Howell. He's on to replace Greg Hurst. Well, Malik Howell, coach, first year in black and yellow, steps foot onto the pitch for the first time here for New Mexico United. Not the first time he's played soccer here in Albuquerque. In fact, he spent some time at the University of New Mexico during his collegiate years. Made a few appearances for the Albuquerque Soul, who were in what is now League Two at the time. He also played against New Mexico United. This was a handful of years ago in the U.S. Open Cup. He was part of a Las Vegas Legends squad that got beat 5-0 by the Black and Yellow.
Yeah, Malik was an electric player when he was here as a Lobo, and it's been pretty amazing to see how many of those players have gone on to do some professional things in their career, you know, and he was a player that when he was here, every time he touched the ball, the crowd just went nuts because he can make some magic happen.
Looks like there's a Switchbacks player down. It might be Foster. Not quite sure what happened. So while we've got a moment, we'd like to let you know that if you can't watch the match, you can turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on SiriusXM FC 157 and the new SiriusXM app. So it didn't look like anything intentional there from Reed Stephen, just a little bit of a coming together between those two.
Yeah, just two players running into each other there.
Foster still seems to be feeling the effects of that. Isaiah Foster, second year with Switchbacks, spent some time with FC Cincinnati prior to that. Check that. This is third season with Switchbacks. He made 25 appearances for the club in 2022. And spent a couple seasons within the FC Cincinnati organization between their first team and their MLS Next Pro team, and made a return to the Springs in 2025. Offside flag is up that time. Speaking of time, Coach, starting to dwindle here in the 85 minutes gone by.
Yeah, starting to dwindle, and you see Colorado now starting to throw more numbers a little bit forward and take some chances, and those are going to be the opportunities that are going to pay off or they're going to hurt you. So it's an opportunity for New Mexico, if they can keep the ball, to put another one on the board and probably kill the game. But it is a decision now. You start to see there's a second forward sitting underneath, and they have to make sure they don't get caught in that. You don't want to give up one and lose your win here.
Just before Chris Shakes delivered that ball away, Kip Keller was seen just clapping and trying to rally his guys. Just maintain that mental focus here for the next 10 minutes. Hamalainen. on the line, and he's got some experience at an international level. 12 caps for Finland. Renix. Nice flick there for Renix, but Harris couldn't track it down. Not too often you say that.
It looks like Keller is limping again.
A couple more changes for head coach Alan McCann and Switchbacks. We see defender Matt Mahoney on. He's on to replace the injured Isaiah Foster. We also see midfielder goal-scoring threat Yosuke Hanya. Hanya was actually on the score sheet the last time these two teams met. It was up at Widener Field. Hanya opened the scoring just 3 minutes in. So here comes Williams once again. We're going to see another long throw. Short this time. Here's Daroma. Daroma creates some space. Daroma. That shot blocked by Howell. Fjellberg that time looking to create an angle. Williams plays it through. Fjellberg. Eventually New Mexico able to get a foot on it. And a foul whistled against Switchbacks. Fans, eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball, free to play. Download now. So we're going to see one more substitution here for New Mexico. It is Jake LaCava coming on for New Mexico. And that's not a good sign. You see Kip Keller, who came on as a second-half substitute. He is subbed off here before the conclusion of this game.
Yeah, subbed off. He's got a little bit of a limp there for sure. So protecting him from making that any worse, hopefully, and nothing bad.
Yeah, and this makes things interesting on the defensive side for New Mexico, as you now see Jake LaCava, who typically plays more of as a winger.
Yep.
He's back now as a right back. And Jake LaCava, this is a milestone appearance for him, his 150th USL Championship appearance here today. And it is his first at the lab as a member of the Black and Yellow. LaCava, he spent time with New York Red Bulls 2 when they were in the league, Tampa Bay Rowdies, Charleston Battery, San Antonio. He was at Charleston the same year Dennis Sanchez was there in 2024. A little bit of familiarity between those two. Lovely flick there from Reed Stephen. Noel tried to make it down to the corner, had his pocket picked. No problem there as New Mexico able to come away with another throw.
Well defended by Switchback there. Didn't really give him any chance to waste any time.
Knocking on the door here of 90 minutes. Bennett looking to create something. Here comes Switchbacks. Cross goes in. And it's dealt with by Jake LaCava. LaCava spent last 2 years with SAFC. 32 appearances, couple of goals in USL Championship play. We are a officially into a second half stoppage time. 5 minutes added on here at the end of the 90s. Stoppage time brought to you by New Mexico Pinon Coffee, the taste of enchantment. Winding down here at the lab. New Mexico looking for their first points of this USL Championship season. Hasn't been pretty here today, Coach, but they'll take it any way they can.
Yeah, 3 points is 3 points. Either team will take that. You don't have to have pretty next to it.
Fjellberg looking to ask some questions. Here's Hanya. Can he outpace Howell? Howell takes a nibble, and Howell has conceded a penalty in second half stoppage time. The second of the day for New Mexico. No doubt about the first one against Will Seymour. This one, perhaps a bit more questionable. We'll see on the replay. So you see the New Mexico United players really trying to just plead their case. Let's take a look on this TLC replay. Tough to see from that angle if he caught his foot or if he didn't.
That's a difficulty, though, isn't it? When you have to pull a center back and someone has to slide into a position they're not really comfortable with. You know, you can get your footing a little bit wrong. But that one seemed a little soft from here. The first one, I'll concede. That one seemed a little bit soft from here.
Well, Chris Shakes gets his chance at redemption here as Bennett steps up to the spot for the second time today. Can Switchbacks steal a point here in second half stoppage time? Atmosphere is tense. Here's Bennett. Bennett goes left. Shakes goes right. Switchbacks have knotted things up here in the dying moments of the match.
New Mexico United players urging the referee to watch the replay.
Corey Bennett, a goal scorer, and he loves scoring goals against New Mexico United. That's his 5th goal that he's scored against the black and yellow over the last 3 seasons.
You know, to take 2 penalties in one game, there's a mental piece to that too, and he finished that very composed, went the opposite side. Shakes got strong.
Bennett just quieting down the crowd. Still time.
5 minutes of added time. You're going to get an opportunity. Put it away.
New Mexico have been dubbed the Kings of Chaos, but this is not how you want to start out. Ball given away off the restart, and Jabang just clears it away. Here's Renix, MLS veteran. Amalainen has stepped up from his center back role. Coming up on the end of 5 minutes. Hamalainen out to Lakava. Could this be the last opportunity? Noel turns. Deflected. Harris. Jabang! New Mexico! Win it at the death! Usman Jabang! Off the mark in 2026. The Kings of Chaos are back.
You spoke about the classics, Tyler. We're building another one here. Unreal.
The 9,500 in attendance on their feet. New Mexico with a flair for the dramatic. And if you're calling Shuttler, coach, you're going to be having nightmares about this. The last 2 times you've been on this pitch, you've conceded in the dying seconds.
And an effort from your team that you'd be proud of. To give up that just hurts. It stings.
We get another look on this TLC replay. That goal brought to you by Vara Winery and Distillery. Usman Jabang
made no mistakes about that, did he?
Smashes it home, and look what it means. We're not done yet. The offside flag is up on Valentin Noel. Here's Daroma. Gilbert now looking to get across into the box. It's deflected. That's the full-time whistle. New Mexico win it at the death. Usman Jabang secures 3 points for the black and yellow.
What a game. Instant classic. 2 goals that you think are going to kill it for the other team. These are the games that you love to be a part of as a fan. These are games you love to be a part of as a player. Great way for New Mexico United to start the year.
Usman Jabang, your winner of the play of the match, brought to you by Vara Winery and Distillery. Dayon Harris, your man of the match. He provided a spark off the bench. Brought to you by Pepsi, and your defensive player of the match was Nico Hamalainen. All 3 of them getting it done today here for New Mexico as they walk away with a victory. Celebrations are on here at the lab. You mentioned Hamalainen, your Valley Fence Company defensive player of the match on his home debut here at the lab. We didn't catch our breath after that, coach.
Catch your breath.
What a finish.
And the fans are not leaving. You can see how much this one means to the community and to the team.
We'll step aside, catch our breath. We'll be back to wrap things up with our full-time highlights.
Game on at New Mexico's ultimate game day destination, Sandia Sportsbook. With live wagering 7 days a week, Albuquerque's best sportsbook is ready for action. Bet at Sandia Sportsbook or at kiosk locations on the casino floor. Sandia Sportsbook offers amazing food and drink specials with spectacular views. Sports betting has come to Sandia. Sandia Sportsbook. Game on.
Full time here at the Lab, an instant classic in the books. Scoreless through the first 45, Coach. 5 goals in the second half. Let's have a look at our full-time highlights. What an incredible match this was. The party really didn't get started, as we said, until the second half. Corey Bennett converted from the penalty spot to put Switchbacks ahead. Shakes guessed right. Bennett just had the placement even better.
It's kind of the moment that opened up the whole game, isn't it? It felt like that settled in both teams to start to play a different style of football, and I think it was a moment that woke New Mexico United up and clearly lit a fire.
And speaking of lighting a fire, Dayon Harris, the second half substitute, comes in. He's able to even things up for New Mexico on this strike past Colin Shuttler. But then they weren't done. New Mexico, moments later, it's that man again, Dayon Harris, this time finds Valentin Noel, whose shot is deflected by Talon Maples, and it finds the back of the net. And if you're New Mexico at this point, you're up 2-1.
It's Dayon Harris. It's a name that New Mexico United fans are going to leave here thinking, I cannot wait to see that player play again. He was a part of everything special today.
Late in the match, a controversial penalty call on Malik Howell sees Corey Bennett step up to the spot once again. He switches up his attack, this time going left, gets it by Shakes. But Coach, they're called the Kings of Chaos for a reason. In the dying moments, that man again, Dayon Harris, threading this ball through Usman Jabang in stoppage time.
You couldn't have scripted it any better for the home opener for New Mexico United. The fans are going to leave here loving this experience, and they should, and they're going to keep coming all season to see this team play.
Dayon Harris, deservedly acknowledged as your man of the match today. 1 goal, 2 assists for Harris as he came off the bench. He did all of that in just half an hour today, Coach, as we have a look at our full-time stats. And what do these stats here tell you?
Yeah, I mean, it tells you that the game never really settled in, doesn't it? Like, both teams had opportunities. Both teams had a little bit of possession. It was a very direct game, a very high-pressing game. And, you know, that half, it paid off for New Mexico United with Dayon Harris coming in and using his speed.
Well, that's going to do it for us here today. Up next for New Mexico United, it is some Open Cup action taking place on April 1st, just right across the street from us here at the UNM Soccer Complex. The Black and Yellow will be hosting El Paso Locomotive in the U.S. Open Cup. So you can watch that game right here on ESPN+. But that is going to do it for us here today. For everybody part of our coverage, for our director, our producer, Gary Williams, for Heather Dyke, the head coach of the U.S. Women's National Team U23 squad. Coach, thank you so much for being here today. What an absolute pleasure to have you in the booth once again. My name's Tyler Ortega, and we'll see you here at the Lab on April 25th.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
Ava chips this forward beautifully. Gloucester. Cross goes in, and it's cleared away from a sliding Luther Archimed.
Yeah, great little overload out wide for him.
Chips this forward beautifully. Gloucester. Cross goes in, and it's cleared away from a sliding Luther. Ava chips this forward beautifully. Gloucester. Cross goes in, and it's cleared away from a sliding Luther Archimed.
Yeah, great little overload out wide for him.
Chips this forward beautifully. Gloucester. Cross goes in, and it's cleared away from a sliding Luther Archimed.
Yeah, great little overload out wide for him.
Ava chips this forward beautifully. Gloucester. Cross goes in, and it's cleared away from a sliding Luther Archimed.
Yeah, great little overload out wide for New Mexico.
Finds Noel. Left-footed cross. Hamalainen! That ball. Left-footed cross. Hamalainen! And that ball, it looked like it might have been Academy Cup a handful of years ago. Cross goes in once again, and it's chested down. Nice shot over the